For the last 12 videos, we have been performing a forensic autopsy on your prison. We identified the invisible scripts that dictate your desires. We diagnosed the intelligence traps that keep you paralyzed in analysis. We mapped the social entropy of the crab bucket that seeks to pull you back into the heat of the masses. But awareness without implementation is just a more sophisticated form of suffering. Knowing you are a slave doesn't make you free. It just makes you resentful. If you spend your days understanding the bars of your cage without ever picking the lock, you haven't awakened. You've just become a well-informed prisoner. Today, we move from philosophy to engineering. If you want to live as an anomaly, you cannot use the same operating system as the masses. Their OS is factory-calibrated for consumption, distraction, and compliance. It is designed to harvest your attention and sell it to the highest bidder while leaving you with the cognitive scraps. To survive the era of digital feudalism, you need a sovereignty stack, a specific layer of technical and psychological protocols that govern your time, your focus, your capital, and your energy. This is not a self-help video. This is a technical manual for human optimization. We are going to install 5 practical protocols that you can implement within the next 24 hours. These are the hard skills of the 1%. This is the transition from being a subject of the algorithm to becoming the architect of your own reality. Most people believe they have an attention span problem. They are wrong. They have an environment architecture problem. Your brain is a biological relic, evolved over millions of years to respond to novelty, threats, and social cues. Tech giants have spent hundreds of billions of dollars to turn the device in your pocket into a dopamine delivery machine. This machine hacks your ancient brain circuits. You cannot win a war against a supercomputer with willpower. You win it with engineering. The zero notification policy. The first layer of the stack is the total destruction of reactive inputs. A sovereign does not respond to pings. Every notification is an external interruption of your internal state. You must go into your settings and disable every single notification, not just social media, but email and news. Even low-priority messages should be disabled. Create a whitelist for only the most critical contacts. If it's not an emergency, it doesn't get a sound, it doesn't get a vibration. It doesn't even get a red dot on an icon. The grayscale shift. Icons on your phone are designed with specific color palettes. These colors trigger the slot machine effect in your brain. By switching your phone to grayscale mode, you strip the device of its psychological allure. The casino becomes a utility tool. Suddenly, looking at your screen becomes a conscious choice, not a compulsive reflex. The physical barrier of distance is IQ. A 2017 study by the University of Texas demonstrated that the mere presence of a smartphone reduces available cognitive capacity. Your brain is literally spending energy not looking at the phone. Protocol 1 requires that during your focus windows, the phone is in a different room. Physical distance is the only way to recover your full IQ. The 4-hour kill zone. You do not have 8 hours of high-level cognitive energy. You have 4. These are your golden hours, usually dictated by your circadian rhythm for most. This is the first 4 hours after waking. This is the kill zone. No meetings, no emails, no quick chats. This is where you perform the work that moves the needle. You treat this time with the same reverence a surgeon treats an operating room. It is a sacred space of neural output. Your brain is a world-class processor, but it is a catastrophic hard drive. Using your biological RAM to remember to-do lists, random ideas, or grocery items is like using a supercomputer to act as a paperweight. It is a waste of resources that leads to cognitive overload and chronic anxiety. The P.A.R.A. method. You must build a second brain. We use the P.A.R.A. system developed by Tiago Forte. Projects, areas, resources, and archives. Projects, active tasks with a deadline. Areas, ongoing responsibilities, health, finances, business, resources, interests, and research topics. Archives, everything else that is no longer active. By offloading your life into a digital system, whether it's Notion, Obsidian, or a simple text file, you achieve neural silence. When the brain knows that a task is recorded in a trusted system, it stops looping on it. The 2-minute capture trigger. If an idea, a task, or a piece of information enters your mind, you have 2 minutes to capture it into your second brain or execute it. If you don't capture it, it will either distract you for the next hour or vanish forever. Sovereignty is about having a zero inbox for your mind. Cognitive offloading. By externalizing your knowledge, you begin to see patterns that are invisible when ideas are trapped in your head. You move from knowing things to connecting things. This is how you build a compounding knowledge base. Every book you read, every data point you collect, is tagged and filed. Over years, this becomes your most valuable intellectual asset, an external brain that doesn't forget, doesn't get tired, and grows more powerful with every entry. In the sovereign stack, money is not a tool for consumption. It is a tool for distance. Distance from people you dislike, from jobs that degrade your soul, and from economic systems that demand submission. The Freedom Fund, the first financial goal, is not a luxury car or a high-end watch. It is a 12-month liquid buffer. This is not an emergency fund for a broken pipe. It is a freedom fund. A year of expenses in cash changes your psychology. You negotiate from strength. You can walk away from any table. You can say no to a toxic boss. This moat lowers your cortisol, allowing long-term decisions over short-term survival moves. The consumption tax on time. Every purchase must be calculated in hours of life. If you earn $50 an hour and want a $1,000 gadget, that is 20 hours of your life force. Viewing spending through time taxation reveals most consumption is volunteering for more prison time. The anti-fragility filter. A sovereign doesn't gamble on get-rich-quick schemes. High-yield promises are puppet master's strings. They use greed to tether you. The Anomaly uses a barbell strategy. 80% in boring, indestructible, low-risk foundations, and 20% in high-upside, asymmetric bets where downside is limited, but upside is infinite. Your foundation remains untouched. If Protocol 1 is about protecting your attention from machines, Protocol 4 is about protecting your energy from people. After video 12, you understand the crab bucket. Now you must implement the surgical filter, the 80/20th social audit. Perform a cold clinical audit of your contact list. Categorize every person you interact with into 3 distinct buckets. The battery, people who challenge you, teach you, or hold you to a higher standard. The neutral, people who are pleasant but provide no growth. They are maintenance relationships. The drain, the crabs, the cynics, the nostalgic anchors. These are the energy vampires. Sovereignty dictates you spend 80% of your time with bucket 1, 20% with bucket 2, and 0% with bucket 3. The strategic no. Most people live in a state of social obligation. They go to dinners they don't enjoy, meetings that don't matter, and events that bore them, all to avoid a moment of awkwardness, sacrificing their own time and energy. A sovereign masters the polite no. No excuses, no lies. Just I appreciate the invite, but I have other priorities right now. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to your own mission. Building the Anomaly network. Your network should not be a collection of friends. It should be a mastermind of artifacts. Seek out people who have built things. Provide value to them first by solving a problem they have, without asking for anything in return. This is how you bypass the gates of the elite. You don't ask for a seat at the table. You bring a better chair, earning your place through contribution and unique value. The final layer of the stack is your economic engine. In an age of AI, average is a death sentence. If your job can be described in a manual, it can be done by a script. To be sovereign, you must possess a high-income skill that is rare, valuable, and hard to automate. The T-shaped individual. You need broad knowledge across multiple disciplines, but you must have one deep spike of absolute mastery. This is your monomaniacal focus, whether it's high-stakes negotiation, complex systems architecture, or high-end copywriting. You must be in the top 1% of that specific spike. The 100-hour rule. Most people think mastery takes 10,000 hours. That's for world-class athletes. To be in the top 5% of a sub-skill, it only takes 100 hours of deliberate practice. If you spend 100 hours intensely studying the psychology of influence, you will know more than 95% of the population. Sovereignty is about stacking these 100-hour spikes. The proof of work resumes are for subjects. Portfolios of artifacts are for sovereigns. Do not tell people what you can do. Show them what you have done. Build a body of work, a blog, a GitHub, a portfolio, a business that speaks for you while you sleep. This is your sovereign passport. It is the only credential that matters in the new economy. The difference between the person who watched this video and the person who becomes a sovereign is the execution gap. Most of you will leave this video and go back to your reactive, dopamine-drenched life. You will tell yourself you learned something you didn't. Learning is a change in behavior. If your behavior remains the same, you are just a more entertained crab. The sovereignty stack is not a suggestion. It is a system. Install the protocols. Build the moat. Protect the focus. The manual is in your hands. The cage door is open. Execute. Thanks for watching and subscribe.